Yeah, man, it's funny you say that because that was my philosophy all throughout prison. I wasn't a gorilla bigger, but I wasn't passive either. I wasn't the sheep. I had to always keep a balance and be assertive because for me, these dudes, like I remember, man, and it scared me. And I'm gonna talk about this on my YouTube channel because I got a YouTube channel where I just talk about my prison chronicles and stuff like that because I know what the people want to hear and they're curious about the dynamics of prison and stuff like that. But I'm gonna make a video talking about this one, man, and it's the time, man, where I really, man, I'm talking about bigger. I was crying and shivering because I knew, man, I was gonna potentially kill somebody this night. It was a situation where one of my good friends that I had immense love for at the time, he got into it with a gang, and he wasn't in no gang. But in the gangs, man, they like to push their weight around. It's power in numbers. They feel like they're untouchable, especially dealing with a neutron. A neutron, for those who don't know, is somebody who doesn't gang bang at all. It's neutral. And I was a neutron, so it was a little time. I'm gonna say rougher, but you have less support as opposed to if you're in a gang. But I seen what was going on, and I love this dude. He was a good dude, and he wasn't in the room. But like I say, the gang member buddies, man, they gonna be with their brothers right or wrong because in the name of the nation and all that, you already know. So they was plotting on him. And we got word. It was all in the same dormitory. So immediately I hollered at one of my old schools, and I was like, man, I need that fire. For those who don't know, fire is a shank. We call fire a shank, knife, a weapon, banger, whatever you want to call it, man, but a weapon to get somebody up off you. And I got one, and I took one of the biggest risks, a big no-no, something you don't do in prison. If you're trying to get your game time, you're trying to come home early, you ain't trying to catch another charge of being in the hole, man. You don't sleep with your shame. That's just something you know because they can do shakedowns anytime. You get caught with that shame, man. You could possibly get another charge. You get what I'm saying? So you don't want to do that. But that night, I was willing to do it, man. I slept with my shank. I remember I ain't getting no sleep. I stayed up all night, faking like I was asleep. I was drinking coffee. I ain't even drink coffee. I can't stand coffee. But I was drinking coffee at night because I made up my mind that I might not see the streets again. But I had that much love for this person. I couldn't stand in to jump on this person and hurt and kill this person. Me just standing there. And it's crazy because the love I have for the person, and I don't regret it. But what I was willing to do for that person, I don't even talk to that person today in today's time. Ain't talked to them since I've been home. And there's no love lost. It's all good. But it's just, at that moment, the bond we had, the rapport we had, I was willing to go through desperate measures. But fortunately, man, and I'm a very spiritual person, but through the graces of the Most High, man, it didn't transpire as anticipated. Nothing happened. It got solved. And we all lived to see another day. And I was able to come home early. But that's what I'm saying in these times of prison, man. Sometimes you just put in these compromising situations. It's like the only way to get out of it is violence because I didn't have situations, Big Hurt, when I'm really trying to rationalize and talk to an individual, but they just not understanding. He just really want to be on some violence because he's trying to make a name for himself because he insecure within himself and he trying to paint this picture to the compound that he hear me. You ain't even got to do this, brother. So now I got to excuse my life. I got to fuck you up. I got to make an example out of you.
You know what it is too, though, Mo?
Tell me.
A lot of these guys, and they call it man-child, they literally stop developing when they get to prison because their last free moments is when they can rationalize their mind as far as at that phase in their life. So I've seen guys that were late 40s, 50s, still sagging on the yard, still talking gang stuff. And these guys are about to go home. They've been down 20-something years, but they're still talking about, oh, man, what, that little broad off of Whoop over by the little store, corner store? Man, I used to, man, because we go through there, whoop, whoop, whop, and yeah, blah, blah, blah. And you're looking at these dudes, and they still acting like, dude, you're a grown man now. You're not a kid no more. These people, you're not 20. You're 30 years done passed. These women done had multiple probably baby daddies, or so-and-so done died. This person got shot. I mean, dude, that's when you were at that phase in life and your mind was at that level of development. You're grown, so you're supposed to grow out of that. you're supposed to move into a new phase, like a butterfly, like a caterpillar to a butterfly. And a
Exactly.
lot of people don't do that. And so the only thing I see that a lot of these guys, the only way they even have the slightest ability to make it is they have some old baby mama holding them down because they ain't really did too much in there but hang out, hustle some drugs, gamble, whatever they done. So they got the baby mama or they got maybe their grandmother or their mama and they go and that's it. And that's what they fall back on. But they haven't even rationalized that everything's on them now. Nobody owes you nothing. And so
Yeah.
you got to have your shit together. And when I got out, I didn't have time. Like, I don't want to go lay up under my mom and then try to I'm like, damn, dude, I got to get out here and show everybody because everybody was already scared of me because they're like, dude, this dude crazy. He robbed a bank or crazy people rob banks. Who are you? I didn't even after I got out, I did not see any of my family for about a year, man. Didn't nobody come to the halfway house. I had to eventually catch them at a family get together 7, 8 hours away, but it was on me. And then when I started doing some things being more, they're like, oh, okay. But nobody asked me about my prison experience. Man, how was it in there? Oh, man, I'm glad you're healthy. Everybody act like, oh, what's up? It's like nothing ever happened. Because people on the street, squares, don't have any understanding in prison. They think you're in prison. Maybe you got your cheeks took. You were doing some weird shit. And, my mom watched all this stuff. I'm like, Mom, everybody in there ain't getting their booty took. Not
Yeah.
everybody is messing with little boys. That's that bullshit they show you to make you think like there are people on that time, but I wasn't around that. Not everybody's doing all that shit they show on TV. But that's
Right.
what they rationalize. Oh my God, I can only imagine you was up in, no, I wasn't in there doing that. you know. People they got
I'm
some more,
sorry.
man. These movies, man, they put some weird shit out there, man,
Yeah,
and
they are.
they think
Yeah,
like everybody like, oh man, that's a real jail. I watch some of these prison scenes in movies. I'm like, man, who choreographed this shit, man?
obviously y'all never did time.
No, no,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So
Nah. The biggest thing, and yeah, it's propaganda. They like the media likes to influence and illustrate prison in their own manner to uh I don't know, create this fear factor, just exaggerate it for more viewership and curiosity. I understand it, but to your point, it's definitely not exactly to the T and as what's depicted in mainstream society. But you said something key, Big Herc, and this is what allowed me to grow and develop as well because I've seen those guys too. I've seen the guys on the compound pants sagging harder than me, and I'm 18 years old, bro. Your pants sagging harder than me, and you 55, and you think you cool. And a thing that I identified, these guys, they have low self-esteem. They're operating off of a low frequency state. They don't have no sense of self. They don't know. And they're trying to get validation from people that's empty, just as empty as them, but are 10 to 20 years lesser or younger than them. And they trying to fit in because they had problems fitting in the past. And that's this, they feel like this is their time for redemption. So now I'm considered an OG just by age, but mentally I still have an infantile mind. But I'm trying to make up for, the friendship or the validation or the camaraderie that I missed out on in my early years because I was lame, I was a misfit, or I didn't have this, et cetera, et cetera. But and on another note, man, what you said is very paramount. That all I want everybody in here to see, and you don't. It's not necessarily tied to prison, but this is tied to life. If you want something to change, man, you like me, Big Herc. You ain't blame everybody. I got myself in prison. I didn't blame the white man. I didn't blame the system, even though I know there's a system out there designed for people of African descent to fail. But you can't use that as an excuse, Big Herc, because you got people of African descent that's multimillionaires that prevailed against that. My acronym, prevail against self-sabotage, pass. We could prevail against all that shit. We ain't in the Jim Crow days no more. If you want to stay stuck on that and you want to use that as an excuse, that's on you. But there's plenty of brothers, man, melanated skin, that's out here making moves, and we one of them. So we debunked and all that shit. But I'm not still going to ignore and be oblivious to the fact that it is a system design. But it's so emasculated, we can surpass that. You know what I mean? Miles and miles away. But anyway, the accountability though, man. Taking accountability. I look myself in that mirror. I remember my mom family, right? I used to straighten them. I used to get really mad at this. They like, oh, baby, I don't understand why you in you ain't killing nobody. You ain't no murder. You ain't pull a trigger. Yes, mom, listen. I didn't kill anybody, mom, but I participated in the robbery. I had knowledge of the robbery. If that man would have had $1 million, I would have got $250,000. I didn't know nobody was gonna die. I didn't aid and abet anybody a dime. But the fact of the matter is, I did participate in a robbery. In the state of Florida, when you're in the commission of a crime, they got what you call felony murder. I'm responsible for your actions. You're responsible for my actions. If I rape and kill somebody big hurt and you're in the commission of crime with me, you rape and kill somebody. I didn't know that, but ignorance is not an excuse. You know what I'm saying? Ignorance is not a justification of the law or the eyes of the law. I didn't know. I got my consequences. I know now I will never go back to that ever again. And that's why I use my platform to enlighten individuals on your decision making when you have these accomplices, man, because you can't control nobody but yourself. But just
Mm-hmm.
know when you're in the commission of a crime and your accomplice or your partner, your homeboy or your gangbang buddy does something out of pocket, your ass got it too. Your ass got it too. So he do some foul shit, play with a break, take some pussy. You took some pussy.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but that's the biggest thing, man. Accountability, man. I can't stress that enough, man. The first, they say a 1,000,000-mile journey begins with one step. And that's the first step in anything, any change, any drastic change or transition one wants to have in their life. Gotta accept accountability. Nobody is responsible for your current state but you, because you made the choices.